All right, guys, today I am here to talk about the top 10 questions we get about the Batt Pack. I'm here with Juliet, who has studied the same degree as I did, sustainable renewable energy engineering. She is responsible for all of our technical sales, and she'll be helping me out by asking me a few questions that we get from the public. Right, Juliet?
Yeah, I'm forced to be here, so why not?
Awesome, let's get into it.
Okay, so question one is, why did we choose LifePo chemistry as our basis for the Batt Pack?
It's a great question, and it really comes down to what we're trying to do with this. So there's two things. One, we want really good lifespan. So we want this thing to last like 10 to 20 years. So we need a chemistry that's going to give you lots of cycles. So LifePo gets you 3,000 to 10,000 cycles, depending on how you tweak it and which specific manufacturer you use. And the other thing too is you want something that's really safe. So we started off in the mining industry. Obviously, safety is number one. So going to something like NMC was just not a great choice, which is another type of lithium chemistry. So lithium iron phosphate, definitely the way to go. Super safe chemistry and really, commercially available. So that's why we chose that.
Well, so this is our second question. It's one of our top questions that we get is, how weatherproof is it? Can I dump it in a lake?
Yeah, so don't go ahead and dump it in a lake. That's pretty much the only thing you can't do with it. But it is meant to resist snow, wind, hurricanes, rain, whatever you throw at it. So we've had these out and outside in the elements for like a year straight with no issues at all. And they are made to be completely weatherproof. So weatherproof does mean weatherproof. Leave it outside, leave it in the all those intense weathers. Just don't submerge it.
Okay. So question three, next question is, we always market it as in plug-and-play system. So how easy is it really to use?
Well, you can use it, so no, I'm joking. So it's super, super easy, and I always say like it's so easy. My grandmother could use it, and she does, and she has, and I had to force her to do it because I wanted to say that. So, and it is really easy. It's on off, and that's really all you need to know. There's no oil to change. There's no fuel to add. There's no pull cord. There's nothing like that. It's on and off. So if you can master that, you can master this product.
So it's easy as pushing a button.
It really is.
Okay. So question four, we get a lot of stigma on lithium batteries. People think they're going to explode. So how do we keep our Batt Pack safe?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously it starts at the chemistry level. We talked about LifePo and how it's a lot safer than other chemistries. So that's just one inherent built-in safety measure. But then the other part is that we add a lot of other things on top of that. So we'll add, for example, we'll add some fusing on the DC side. We'll add some circuit breakers on the AC side. We're going to add in a battery management system that records everything and that's monitoring a lot of different parts of the system so that if something looks out of whack, it's going to shut it down right away. So that's how we keep people safe. And then on top of that, it's just building a high quality, good product that's weather resistant. So you don't have that risk of shock and stuff like that, which you might if you used some other product that just can't work in outdoor situations.
Okay, so I don't have to worry about a bomb in my house.
Awesome.
Okay, so question five, what's the difference between a pure sine wave and a modified sine wave, and why should it matter?
Yeah, great question. Super important too. So I want to get into the really detailed explanation of how modified and pure sine waves work, but essentially think about the power coming out of your wall as a perfect wave that goes up and down and up and down. And with that, you get really nice clean power. Now, in certain inverters or certain solar generators or even other fossil fuel-based generators, what you're going to see is called a modified sine wave or some really unpure sine wave, where it's going to be kind of like a big square. So it sort of looks like what comes out of your wall, but it's not really that. And the problem with that is if you don't have a pure sine wave, then you may be in risk of actually damaging some of the things that you plug in. Maybe it's sensitive electronics or motors or other things like that. You may actually damage those devices. So having pure sine wave is super important. And that's why in our Batt Packs, we always use pure sine wave.
Wow, okay, well, the more you know. So question six, what's the actual output power versus the stated power?
Yeah, it's a good one. And that really relates to actually what you're plugging into the device and not the Batt Pack itself. So if you look at, let's say, a coffee maker, actually, let's use an example of like a fan, for example, okay? It might say 100 watt rated, and that's what you read on that nameplate, and you can barely read it, and it's like super small rating, but it'll tell you exactly, hey, 100 watts. And that's great, but it's actually probably not what you are actually pulling from that device. So when you're doing calculations on how much energy you're going to draw or whatever it may be, it's always best to actually just measure that. And the easiest way is to use kind of like a plug and play amperage or power measurement tool. They're called like a kilowatt. It's pretty cool, so you can use one of those. But yeah, that's the difference between rated, which is your nameplate, and stated or actual, which is actually what it takes.
So a lot of people asked, when their Batt Pack dies, how can I charge it?
Don't let it die. Then you won't have to charge it. No, I'm joking. So yeah, there's 3 different ways you can recharge it, which is really cool. So you can do the first one's like a classic, right off your wall or a generator of some sort. The cool thing with the Batt Pack specifically is that you don't need like an external charger. I mean, you know this. You just like you take an extension cord, you flip it around, and you charge it. So you don't have to worry about, oh, did I forget my charger or my special cord? Like it's just standard extension cord. So that's number 1. Number 2 is solar, and that's gotten way more. I mean, you know this. It's
people in Cali love that.
Yeah, California loves this. It's gotten way more popular. The ability to charge off of solar panels, and we don't have like a proprietary plug or anything like that. You just get panels, like standard panels, and you can plug them in. As long as they're within a certain voltage threshold, you're good to go. So that expands, you can use
Don't over voltage it.
Yeah, don't over voltage.
I get that.
Yeah, don't over voltage that. Don't put too much.
Yeah, don't put too many panels in series.
Yeah, anyways, it's in the manual. Read the manual. Come on, guys.
Yeah, please, come on.
And then last but not least is we can do vehicle charging. So right off the alternator or the starter battery, it'll actually sense when the engine's on because of voltage, and then just start charging when the engine on. And that means anything from like RVs to boats to portable, like, or on the road mechanics and stuff like that. So there's a lot of different applications for it that really require that kind of alternator starter battery.
Especially when they're driving too.
Yeah, like so driving between sites, easy.
You're good to go.
Good to go.
Okay, so next question is, do we have USB charging ports or just the plug outlets?
No, hard no on that one. We don't have USB. And I honestly don't, I'm not really planning, I don't think we should ever have USBs on there. And there's a really good reason why. One, our product's weatherproof, right? So if we put a USB, we got to put like a weatherproof USB. We've got to put the regulator in there. And I want to give you guys like 3-4 amps on there so you can do fast charging. So it really just adds a lot of cost and complexity when you can go out there and for like $5 to $10, just get yourself that little USB charging adapter, and you're off to the races. Like that's just a way better way of doing it. So we're just gonna stick to you guys just
plugging it in. And people usually have that anyway.
They have that.
Where is your cube?
Yeah, exactly. You're probably gonna take the cable off the cube you guys have and plug it into the Batt Pack if we put a USB.
Exactly. So everyone's just plugging it into an outlet anyway. So
there you go.
Anyways, okay. So a lot of people think that we can just use this for backup power, but what are other applications or the main applications that we can use our Batt Packs for?
Yeah, when people talk to me about this, I always say, look, we can use it anywhere from mining to weddings and everything in between. And that's really true. Like it was initially developed for that mining industry. So like hardcore pro grade, powering corn drills, big contractor lights, stuff like that. But really we have seen this used for absolutely everything, to powering like fancy dinners in the middle of fields to
he is not lying.
No, I'm serious. There's some great pictures about that. But and then there's like mobile mechanics, as I mentioned. Military stuff, emergency backup power you can keep in your closet. So there's just lots of different, I mean, everywhere you need power, right? Right now, actually, these days, you need power for everything. Yeah, it's so essential. And it doesn't matter if it's a storm or if it's for like a daily work, contractor position. It doesn't matter what it is, you need power for everything. And the fact that these can be used indoors and out and are super safe and pack a huge amount of power, like monster power, is super, super essential. And that's why you can pretty much use them for absolutely everything.
Yeah, so if you want to make your TikToks during a power outage,
gotta keep
your
that
Batt Pack.
Sure, why not?
So a lot of people want to know information about their Batt Pack, how many times they've cycled it out, whatnot. So where can I find that data?
Yeah, nowhere. Right now, the only thing
nowhere, guys. Sorry.
Nowhere. Sorry, yeah, we're out of luck. No, right now the only data you can see is actually the gauge. It's an analog gauge. It tells you basically if it's 0 to 100%, if it's full or empty, 3/4, half, whatever. And the reason why we can only see that right now is because it was originally designed for industrial applications, so mining, construction, stuff like that. And they wanted to be able to see how much energy they had left from afar, and that was the easiest way to do it, and it was a super simple way of doing it. So that's why we went down that route. Now, without giving away too much, we've listened. We've got a brand new version. I know. It's
Oh my
it's
God.
super awesome. Anyways, I can't tell you much other than the fact that it will have all that geek data available. You'll be able to see
Mm-hmm.
everything from like if it's charging off solar, how much is charging off solar, how much is charging off the grid, how much outputting, just plenty
Wow.
of stuff. I'm not going to get into that because that's going to be a
You're gonna
next
get in
video. I know,
trouble.
I know. So anyways, so check. If you guys want to be the first to know about that, subscribe because we'll do a whole video on it.
Yeah.
And then we'll also put a link somewhere down there so you guys can subscribe to our newsletter, and then you're for sure going to be the first to know about it. And yeah, and then we'll make it all super public.
Better stay tuned for that.
Yeah. All right, there you have it, guys. I've been interviewed, questioned. Juliet, you've done a phenomenal job. Thank you so much for being forced into this. It was
You're
great.
welcome. I better get a bonus.
I don't think so. So anyways, guys, go ahead, like and subscribe.
Please.
Please, if this video does well, maybe she will get a bonus. Follow-up video for that coming soon based on you guys.
How well I did.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks.
Thanks.